you think I should remind them all it's Mother's Day? Nah. Let them see what happens. Let them find out themselves. Oh, let's get on with this. Sunday sharp do 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 do. Sunday sharp do 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 do. Sunday sharp do 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 do. Ah. Hello, hello, hello. Greeting, welcome, salutation. Hope thou art well. Yes, I know I should be speaking to a group of people, but I'm going with the saying hello to each person individually all at once. You know, give anything a go once. Well, almost anything. Certain things even I won't try, but you know. That's right. Pop in a tinny. Cheers. Ooh, starts with me to go on with burping and smoking. And being ill again. Oh joy. Hello Kay, how are you my dear? Long time no see. Hope all is well up on the eastern coast. Hope you didn't get too bad amounts of snow last week. Hopefully you had plenty of rain beforehand and then after, so it all went away very quickly, like it did here. We got several inches, but it all came and went in a couple of hours. So nice to see, and then it all went away. So good snow. No, it wasn't even around long enough for people to start panic buying anything, which is always a bonus. And yes, my hair is going curly. And Yella's here, and Dee Dee, darling, how are you, my dear? Hope all is wonderful with you. Big hug and smooch. Mwah. And so, yes. And happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, because I know it's not American Mother's Day yet. So don't panic, American men. You've not forgotten. You had woman flu, yes. Well, technically this is woman flu because I caught it from Mary. So we will see whether I get it worse than she did or not as bad as she did. I had 2 weeks ago, I had another dose that I caught from someone at work. So, joy. I should have known this was going to happen because I'm off this week. Yes, week off. And yeah, I'm ill. So, joy. Thankfully, I've got no real anything set in stone plan-wise, so I'm just going to make it up as I go along. Although I do promise to make a video of some description this week. Even if it's just something fairly short, because we've got the 4G going on in the back garden again. And also I've not uploaded anything for a couple of weeks other than live streams, so well, so ill, run out of ideas. You know how it goes. I did a good few years of putting out 2 videos a week, so yeah, forgive me. Need a break occasionally. Yeah, so other than that, not a bad week at all. Hello, Mr. Susudio. I am not Phil Collins. My hair is not that badly receding quite yet. Phil Collins 80s, not 90s, or even, yeah. Yeah, I'm not going there with the Phil Collins jokes. has to be done. Yeah, I'm all right. I don't trigger. Well, I mean, I do, but it's not things like that. It's not little digs and Mickey takes from people. I know, like that don't bother me in the slightest. I'm English and I'm male. I have male English friends. You get worried when they call you by your actual name. If the first thing they call you is something with 4 letters that you're not allowed to say in public, that's normal. Yeah. So other than seeming to catch every dose of Manflu that comes around lately, I've been good. Um, we sorted out the squid that was going on at work. Uh, it's, it is now understood by the people that caused the squid that yeah, they were at fault because they thought I was at fault. No, no, the reason it's been going on is because you caused the problem. There's never enough comedy for one day. Never have too much comedy. And it depends on the type of comedy because sometimes you can have a bit too much dark comedy. And I do like my comedy, black. Um, yeah, also I'm relatively chill. I tend to let things just wash over me. There's no point getting upset with everything because then you just spend all your time upset, and ain't nobody got time for that. Kind of vent on me, because I can handle it. Exactly. Vent away, my friend. You got to vent. Better that you rent a random foreign dude on the internet than someone close, well, family or close to heart, and then get yourself in trouble. I normally vent to myself or the fish or the cat. Dennis isn't here. Well, it's still not been proven you exist, Bigfoot. I think there was talk of actual DNA going around that no one could. A DNA sample was found that nobody could identify. It shared certain similarities with certain species, but not enough to be of that family. So hopefully, I know me for a while now. I can take it. Give it and take it. Doesn't bother me. And if you're wondering, oh no, Sharpe, your tanks are getting cloudy again, that's because I just didn't get around to doing second water change this week on the fry rack. Mr. Moist Socks is here. How are you, sir? Happy Sunday to you too. So fish wise, not a lot going on this week. We've got another load of bristlenose eggs in there that we got to get rid of because we got nowhere to put them. I'm cool, but Curly's the cool. I'm technically got somewhere I could put another batch of bristlenoses, but I'm trying to clear space. So at the moment we've got 900 bristlenoses, so I think we can go a little longer. Better Aquatics, hello, greetings and welcome. Our bristlenose is good with algae eating. How much algae do you see in my tanks? They're good for green spot algae on glass and surfaces, but they won't eat hair algae usually. The female in there will. She does eat blackbeard algae. But yeah, Limia eat any of the green hair algae, and there are bloody hundreds of them in there now. I just spotted a bunch more fry. Got green crab on the tank. You know, the thing to remember with the bristlenose is if the problem is you got too many nutrients in the water, all adding a bristlenose do will, it'll eat the algae, but it'll also produce more nutrients, so you'll get more algae technically, or can do. A few snails generally do the trick. A couple of nerites in there, I'll soon clear most of it. But then obviously you get nerite eggs laid everywhere, so you take your money, you pay your money, you take your choice. But yeah, I mean, you know, when you consider how overstocked those tanks are, the fact there's no algae in them. The problem, snails never last more than 5 months. Have you used copper in anything in the tanks, or a planaria treatment, or a dewormer, or do you have very soft water? Oh, excuse me. With very soft water will kill snails, and if your KH is pretty low, they'll soon deplete it to nothing. Because I find snails normally do best in sort of pH 7.8 up, over 8 preferably, with a very high KH, because they use the calcium for building their shells. So if they're going sort of white, or the shells are looking thin or getting holes in them, as the water's too soft. So weirdly, I'm going to have to take a bunch of snails out of the black water tank because they're pulling all the KH out of the water, which is crashing the pH. Despite the fact that I want a low pH in that tank, it's getting too low. You know, to the point where I'm going, okay, I can't measure the pH in there on the API test kit or a test strip because they don't go low enough. Snails generally don't fight, but then, you know, they need food. So if there's not enough food for them, then there's that issue. Evening, Andrew. If anyone weren't there on a Saturday evening, an hour later than I go on a Sunday, whichever working out for your time periods, zones, Aquarium Daily goes live. Awesome live stream with guests and quizzes and memes and gifs and all sorts of good stuff. And sometimes there's some weird Englishman trolling him in the comments. And we talk about pork pies. Thank you very much. It was all down to the lucky guess on the guppy question. I say lucky guess. It was lucky I went for the guppy or goldfish when I did, and lucky that I'd watched the documentary like last week about spices. So I knew that vanilla pods come from an orchid. Is it Panifolia? That's the kind of stuff I'll remember. I'll remember that quite easily. I'll forget what someone's name was that I was talking to 5 minutes ago, or what my boss told me to do 10 minutes ago. I was like, oh crap, what do they want me to do? Was it that? Was it that? Was it that? And it's just like, oh, right, it was that. Okay. It was the one thing I didn't do is what they asked me to do, generally, is what happens. That, or they asked me to do something that I've already done and they just weren't aware that it had already been done. So, and then I can go, oh yeah, I already did that. Oh, result. And I'm thinking, bugger, I could have done it now. And thank you, Yella, throwing out the linky poos to mine and Andrew's channels. And I'm trying to get bloody pop-ups to go away. No, I don't want to. No, I don't want more McAfee protection. Thank you. It'll pop up again in about 30 seconds because are you sure you don't want to spend another £100 a year or whatever it is now? Oh, George Farmer has a video. Aquascape maintenance made easy. Add shell dwellers and bristle noses. That makes aquascape maintenance real easy. You don't have to do any. So they do it all themselves. You just, with shellies, you just add sand and they scape it for you. All the things come through now because I haven't turned the computer on all week. So I'll probably be here for about half an hour. Nope, Bob's got a snake. Drac did a video on some Italian cruisers. Black Rifle Model Works did a workshop tour. Eric Clark was live. I think that was Ed leaving a comment somewhere. Adele was live. Should we see what other notifications come up? Hello, Sky. How are you? Oh, and I'm getting mentioned in posts. Be still my beating heart. I'm still sad you wouldn't blow me a kiss, Andrew, but yeah, Jimmy P did, so that's good enough. Test the water, come back and ask about snails. What do I feed my snails? Whatever I feed the fish. Literally. Whatever the fish don't eat, then the snails get, pretty much. Hello, Steph. How you doing? Oh yeah, I won't forget to wish Adele a happy birthday. I'm not going 50th. My bits attached in the right places. Yellow saying hello, Rebecca. Oh, I've not seen Rebecca in chat, so I'm probably being blind. But if you hear Rebecca, hello. Got a wife, so I'm not kissing anyone. Well, mwah, I'll give you a kiss, though. It's one of those things. It's the way it's done and the intent. Yes, the intent behind it and the way it's done. It's like, I'll hug anyone, and Mary knows that, so it's not a problem. Evening, Danny boy. Oh, Danny boy. Now I've got to get this the right way around. Steph, Rebecca, or Jess. Seems like every member of the fish family at least one of those names. Yeah, it was Steph. And Danny Boy's link. Yeah, Mr. Daniel Keeping Fluval. Kind of ironic that I've got more Fluval tanks than he has. Well, I want to be in a fish fan, but I don't want to be kissed. Well, yeah. I'll hug anyone and If it seems right, I'll get out on the cheek. Because that's just me being silly. Right. Dan, for certain, knows he'd get a great big hug. If Andrew saw me out and about, he'd probably do a runner so he didn't get a hug. Give Sharpe a teddy bear hug or send a Filipino lady over. I'm taken as well. I'm not single. Out the country tomorrow, so I'm safe. Hello, Holly. How are you, Maria? Oh, this is the thing. I have hug friends spread all over the world. You never know where you might find someone. So, and if you're referring to Cornwall as out of the country, there's a chance it could be before too long. Although I'd like to see how their economy works. Yeah, I say it's my time in various different hobbies over the decades that having issues, fuel filters and dual tanks, not a perfect fit apparently. Plus, I placed the damn thing too close to the wall. Been working on it all day since Miss DKF got home and broken. Yes. This is why standard internal filters are so much easier. You just suction cup them to the side of the tank and job done. Overfeeding the fish when you have snails is okay. It's not so much as overfeeding the fish as you're feeding the snails. But the more you overfeed, the more snails you'll get. That is the thing. And it's when you've got snails in a tank, you'll realise just how little you have to actually feed the fish. Because the snail numbers explode. Oh, whales. You have my sympathies. Power dab. And sorry if you don't speak Welsh. Yeah, as long as it's no where you are. You go North Wales or South? South Wales is a little bit better. Mufti, hello John, how you doing? Half the job is removing the dual internal. I should have checked the connections before I did that. Yeah, I would. Yeah. Oh, Prestatyn. Oh, you do have my sympathies. At least it's a fairly touristy area, so it won't be too weird. Excuse me, coughing like a 40 a day bag ag. Got another cold coming, so it's gonna happen. Just be glad it's not running out my nose like crazy. Swipe it while it works. Howdy, Tampa Tom. How you doing? Are you mad and are you mowing? That's the most important questions in life. And do you have a towel? Whatever you do, you've got to have a towel with you. Back on the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Johnny New Shoes. Yay. Spending spree. Oh, fishy stuffs. Fun stuffs. Or boring stuffs like clothes and food and work-related guff. Yeah, I was kind of thinking, I say, because I got the week off, I was thinking of maybe treating myself to something, but then, like, I can't really think of anything. And it wouldn't be expensive, so don't start saying, you tank. See you later, bud. Don't relax too hard and have fun. And tell your wife I sent her a kiss. Keep chill and hug Freaky Fish Out. Oh, of course I hug Holly. That's never a problem. Holly can have all the hugs she likes. And I just got lucky with the questions, Dan. It was either stuff I randomly knew or managed to figure out before anyone else did. Getting a bit worried though. Ricky was getting there. She was in the lead for quite a while. Yeah, spend it before someone else does. Yeah. Why couldn't Han Solo finish his steak? Because it was chewy. It's always good fun. So it was certainly more fun than this morning when I had to go into work at 8 o'clock for a bloody meeting that was completely pointless, like pretty much all meetings ever are. Thankfully, I managed to sleep through most of it, but yes, get called in for a team building meeting and then proceed to fall asleep. Bun Bun, my love, how are you? Big huggles. Hope the weather is improving for you. So what else we've been up to this week? Work. Water change. I did actually manage to get all my water changes done Monday, so that didn't really take much of the rest of the week. But yeah, other than that, work and catching up on sleep, I think, is mostly what I've been doing. And then decided to come down with another dose of plague just in time for the week off. But hey, there's one thing I do know I've got to get this week, and I've got to get algae wafers. That's the thing. Got to buy another sack of algae wafers because we're getting rather low. Got enough for maybe a couple of days, and then I'm stuffed. So I'll have to order those tomorrow. Can't get me if I get them first. Got 3 friends that call every day. They say they're debt collectors, but I don't think they're friends as they ask a lot of questions. Yes, thankfully, I don't get that problem. Got off lightly. Humour Fry were not forgiving that I was enjoying the quiz till late and chatting to Andrew even later. Taking a leaf out of my book and swigging energy drinks to stay on my feet. That's the thing they couldn't believe at work this morning when I fell asleep. Because it was like, how can you fall asleep when you just drunk a big can of Red Bull? Me. I'm bored, I'm sat down, it's too warm, and I'm tired. That's why I nodded off watching a really dull video. So if any of you fall asleep, don't worry about it. It happens. We've all watched the corporate videos, haven't we? It's all like the upper management being all excited and thinking they're telling you stuff you need to know. And you're like, dude, my job is to sell tools to people. They come in, they want a tool, I'll sell them it. If they don't want it, I won't. It's quite simple, really. Didn't want to get up this morning. F1's on, so I had an afternoon nap instead. I tried to have an afternoon nap with Mary, but kept coughing And my nose kept running, so it didn't really happen. Just basically lay there with my eyes shut for a bit, which is almost as good as a nap. But, yeah, I ain't. Oh, I've got to go out tomorrow, haven't I? Yes, it's water changes, and I've got to do some food shopping. Or do I? I've got another bottle of Coke left. 3 more cans of energy drink. I'm sure I can rustle up something to eat. If not, just take a trundle down to the chippy, because that's never a bad idea. Howdy, Coro. 14 watching and only 7 likes. Oh dear. Time for a like spike. Don't worry about it. I think I may be asleep, but my mind and eyes don't know it. Oh, I've had days like that. More than a few. My job 3 jobs ago, back when I was doing the same job for 15 years, so it was kind of autopilot most of the time. Back when the insomnia first kicked in, yeah, there were days when I remembered going to work. I remember that I was at work. I just didn't remember anything between like 8 and 5. It was just, oh, I've done a day's work. Oh, okay. I was basically asleep and did my job, and no one noticed. It's possible the other 7 are thumbs down. It wouldn't be the first time that's happened to me. Same job for 15 years, never finished it. I did finish it. We finished the entire company off. So that's why that one finished. Well, I say we did. The company that bought us did. Because they bought another company and decided that they wanted us all to go to work in Birmingham for them. And we all said, nope, we're not moving halfway across the country for a pay cut to a worse area. And they got all surprised about that. And then struggled massively to do the job that we were doing with something like 10 times the amount of people. What did they put? They put 6 people, I think it was, on the job I was doing, and they still didn't get it all done. Always get a thumb down from Yella. He wants to keep me on my toes. You wouldn't know if I was on my toes or not. My feet are that small. And I can't wear anything more than like a 3-inch heel, because any more than 3 inches and I'm going to break an ankle. I'll say I'm not hugely worried about algorithms. Yeah, exactly. Don't keep me on my toes. I'll break them. And I've done that many a time. Trying to figure out how many I have broken. It's not good when you can't remember how many toes you've broken, is it? Never mind. Or how many times you've broken your feet. I know I've done both of them a couple of times, but you know, these things happen. Although unfortunately now I do have to wear steel toe-capped shoes at work, so not that they're going to protect my feet at all, because I wear shoes that are a couple of sizes too big for me, which means my toes aren't in the toe caps. I like plenty of wiggle room in my shoes. That typical British or English thing as a child. You get a new pair of school shoes bought for you at the start of the year in September, and they had to last until next September. They do make steel toe boots in lady sizes, yeah, and they make them in pink as well in the UK. We actually sell them. We sell pink steelies. And no, I'm not going to get a pair. Yeah. When work pays for the steel toe caps, you don't buy your own. I was tempted to get a pair of Skechers, but they're like 80 quid a pair, and I was like, yeah, no, not paying that much. Pardon me. Especially as I generally only do like 6-hour shifts most of the time, and I can manage that. Yeah, I do have small feet. A UK size 5.5, if anyone was wondering. Dainty little trotters. Probably again as a result of the wearing shoes that are too small for me as a child most of the time. That's definitely why my toes curl under each other. Probably why I have foot issues these days, because they got smushed. Yes, size 5.5 in English. Donna's getting rid of some. Yeah, I'm probably the same size as a lot of people's wives. Um, there are women at work with bigger feet than me. Does it bother me? No. Because if I really want to, I can buy shoes 20% cheaper than someone with feet bigger than me. As any UK parents will realise, yeah, 5.5 is 7.5 in the US. Yeah, something like that. But yeah, as children's shoes aren't subject to VAT, which is 20% tax. So I can buy shoes theoretically. That'd be the right length. That'd be too narrow. Uh, but yeah, I could buy shoes that are, you know, tax free, as it were. But I don't, because if I wear shoes that fit, I look ridiculous. I look like I've got small feet as it is, with shoes that are too big. Yeah, I do like Skechers, Al. They are super comfy. And yeah, I'm on concrete all day at work. I say all day, but yeah, literally like the last 4 or 5. Yeah, pretty much every job I've had, I've been standing on concrete all day. So yeah, it's not good for your feet. Yeah. Shops in the kids section, Thomas the Tank Engine trainers. Hell yeah. This was all those ones with the LED lights in that light up when you walk along. They probably wouldn't work too well with me. I'd probably crush them. I'd say I could do, but given my weight, I don't think those shoes are designed to take the weight of a fat man. Let's put it that way. I'm definitely too heavy for those shoes. And I'm not going to put my feet up on screen because ain't nobody needs to see that. Um, yeah, it's one of those where if I were to walk on my hands, it probably wouldn't be too different. The amount of flesh on the floor, as it were. But yeah. So, here we go. There's a couple of questions. Now, any particular video of something fishy that anyone would like me to have a go at filming this week, let me know. Or paranormal, if there's something. And what do you reckon as a little treat for myself that isn't a new tank or new fish? Something cool, or something that might help me film videos. That could be a good one. I know it's not going to be another camera. A wrist brace might be a good idea to stop me doing that with the camera when I walk. Been requesting Sharpe foot cam for 7 months and 14 days. If you just go about half a mile that way, there are some cows in the field and very similar feet. Only real gangsters remember the calcium carbide mining lamp sketches. Video idea of octopus and a Japanese girl, but it might not be YouTube appropriate. No, but I've seen that somewhere. I can send you a link if you like. The old calcium carbide mining lamps. Yeah, lovely toxic noxious fumes. All good. I can send you a worse link. Let's not go down that rabbit hole because I'm going to win. Now, when the police start investigating your Google history and they go, "Oh my God, no, no, we're not going there. We don't want to see what's on that dude's computer." Yeah, when they click on the link at work and they get fired. Although on a similar thing, Gary Glitter got released, so that's going to be fun. Wonder how long he's going to last. Give me an idea for a self-gift phone mount, cheap and handy but hard to explain. Give me one of those ones that's kind of on a big bendy thing and sort of has a spring-loaded thing on it that you stick the phone in and it hold it and you can wave it around, that kind of thing. Because I don't film on my phone. I was thinking about one of the sort of GoPro accessory packs, so you could like put it on your chest rig or on your hat or your handlebars or whatever. But you look at them and there's like 50 pieces and you're like, yeah, but 25 of those are pieces of just sticky pads. GoPro accessory pack. Got one of them. Better than that. So the one and the main one I was thinking about for the GoPro was because you can get these suction cup mounts. Now I thought that would be quite good for sticking in a fish tank. Suction cup it to the side of the tank, and then you can just aim it wherever. Thought that'd be quite cool. Yeah, so I used the GoPro and the Canon camcorder, for want of a better phrase of whatever they're called these days. The one that's still ludicrously expensive. I say that, it actually hasn't come down in price since I bought it. Suction cup it on the outside of the tank facing through the glass. Yeah, but then you got to clean the glass. So much easier with GoPro, just suction cup it on the inside of the tank. Guarantee you get all sorts of crazy fish come up and try and eat the camera. So I did try, when I had the shrimp tub outside, I did try doing a underwater shrimp cam outside last summer, but water was rather green, so you couldn't really see anything, and all the shrimp were hiding. So it was, I make little window kits for the blink cameras and stuff you can use to keep nanny cams on your tanks. True. I say it's one of I say suction cup. It's designed to like hold the GoPro to the windscreen of your car, so you can film where you're going, like dash cam. That's how I'd use it in the tank and hope it didn't rust. And various other mounting options and holder runners and things that could be useful. I was thinking of a gimbal, but they're bloody expensive. It'd be easy to just splint my arm into one position so that it just holds the camera and doesn't move. Yeah, that's the thing with GoPros is they're waterproof, so you can just chuck it in the tank and it doesn't matter. And plus, on the outside, you've got to clean all the water spots off, clean the algae spots off, and the audio still works. Last thing I want is filming a video from the outside of the tank, forget the camera's running, and like do something iffy, and then not watch the whole video back, because I know the whole video is just going to be footage of shrimp or fish swimming around rather than me waffling, and then job done. Rebecca's phone is waterproof. She just can't charge it till it dries out. Yeah, my phone's not waterproof. And the human gimbal is better than many gimbals. Yeah, my problem is especially when I'm out and about filming stuff. It happens in the fish room too. Fish room. Is I'll look at what I'm filming, not at what the camera's looking at. If I look at it, I can see it in full size, real life. Whereas if I look through the camera screen, there's like a 2-inch screen on it or something. Especially if you're filming outside on a sunny day and you can't see the screen either. Helmet mount. I'm not mounting a camera down there, Coro. Yeah, they do this ones that mount on hats and heads and helmets and whatever for action things. Just stick it right on my forehead. Well, given the size of my forehead and how flat it is, I could probably use a suction cup. So yeah, that's something to look into. Because I'm covered on the algae wafers because I've still not used the Amazon gift voucher I got for Christmas. I was supposed to. I thought I had, and click buy now rather than go to checkout. I was like, oh bugger. Yeah, I was like, they generally come as a sort of, well, it's normally like an accessory bag with all the other bits in there. And yes, I do have an accessory bag, but it's rather small. And like the hand mount doesn't actually fit. End up looking like a Dalek. Exterminate. Or a Borg, to go back to the Star Trek quotes from last night. So I know there was a period of time where you could get the glasses with literally had an HD camera built into the bridge of the glasses. Then it just had a memory card or a slot that went cable that ran down to a memory card adapter. And Dan Hurd used to use those, but I think there was a slight issue with illegality in the UK because while it's okay to film in public and to catch the public on film, if you're waving a camera around, it's obvious that you're filming. Whereas I think the problem with the glasses was that people were just perving with them. It'd be like if they made a shoe mount for a GoPro, so you could just stick it under a lady's skirt. It's that kind of thing. But yeah, I think that was the problem with those glasses, was people were just using them to perv with. Same with the Google Lens. I think that was one of the legal issues on those. You could basically just hit a button and take a screenshot of what you were looking at, or video. And if that happens to be something bouncing, then technically that's illegal. Not to mention immoral. People perv with 5G frames and those guys. Yeah, they do, but it's a lot easier to legislate for the glasses. But yeah, I've been on the bus and seen the lad sat there holding his phone sideways on, and you're like, yeah, you're filming her boobs bounce. That's what you're doing. Howdy, Manu. Yes, dose 2 of Manflu. Had one 2 weeks ago, got rid of it, and then Mary gave me her dose. So, but I think it has only lasted a few days for her, and mine came out on Friday, so we should be fairly clear fairly soon. See you later, Andrew. If you got any random live streams during the week, I'll probably show up to those if I'm around. If not, I'll be there Saturday. If you got a gap, I may join you live. Had it for 7 days, and the wife had it for weeks. There's been some nasty gunks going around at the moment in the UK, it has to be said. Staph, hand, foot, and mouth, scarlet fever, croup, the various colds and flus and COVID still, and all the other things go around. Doesn't help. Mary works at a preschool, so we all know what young children are like when it comes to catching every bug under the sun. And then I work in a shop dealing with the public, so it's amazing we're not ill more often regularly. Different illness on different days. Yeah, this one's done that, but it's not been too bad. I had a sore throat Friday evening and Saturday morning, and by Saturday afternoon it got a cough, and now today it's gone. Still got a bit of a cough, but it's now starting to go to my nose. But that was when Mary started getting better, so day or two taking paracetamol and plenty of vitamin C and killing the bugs with smoke inhalation. Children carry everything that universities have fresh as flu. I'll be all right. I've had worse. I've had flu, proper flu, and then I've had COVID. But the worst thing I ever had was Campylobacter poisoning, and that was evil. Get freshers flu every year, and I've not been a fresher since 2017. It's hell. Well, stay away from the young uns then, Rebecca. I know they're probably chasing you around thinking, oh, cute, but I have to teach them. Just throw a textbook at them, that's all they need. If they can't read by then, well, that's their tough. Anyway, isn't university all just about getting drunk? That's why the courses last for so long. Everyone spends 3/4 of the time just drunk, and a quarter of the time actually studying and doing exams. At least that's how I remember college anyway. So I'd probably have done my 2-year college course in 6 months if I'd been sober. Quite easily. Good question. Can fish catch coronavirus from us through the water column? Probably not. I think their genetics are totally different to ours, so doubt it'd probably affect them at all. Although if you notice your fish start sneezing afterwards, I think things like cats can, maybe dogs as well, but here we go. If someone's got a lungfish, go get corona and kiss your lungfish and see what happens. Hong Kong banned hamsters due to COVID. Oh, that's just as hamsters are evil. Nothing about COVID. That's just because hamsters are evil. There it goes. Hitler, Stalin, hamsters, Pol Pot, Ceausescu. Dual cichlids, Franco, Mao. Yeah, not quite in that order, but you get the theory. Actually, that's something I did have a video idea on. Just watch for the fish coughing at their elbows, with their fin pits. Yes, that's how I explain the Corridora toxins to people. They have really bad BO in their fin pits. Matthew Hopkins, if you're not familiar, was the Witchfinder General in the UK. And I think that'd be a very interesting subject for a video. I know there are loads of videos out there already on him. But, a Sharpe take on it. Because I'm currently running on the theory that he might just be the worst serial killer of all time. Because it's not actually, they're saying now that there's no actual proof in the royal record that was it King James II actually gave him approval to do what he did. He just kind of took it on himself and then went out, you're a witch, hang. It was King James. Yeah, he did it. It was he wrote Demonology, didn't he? He wrote the first book on witchcraft. Yeah, things they didn't burn that many. The UK witch trials, they pretty much hung most of them. The nastiest place I visited for paranormal activity, and the most negative place I visited and filmed, Icklingham. It's a small village in Suffolk, and in one day, Matthew Hopkins hung 18 people in a small village because he thought they were witches. Well, my thinking is he didn't think they were witches, he was just a psycho murderer. And anyone he didn't like the look of, he just killed. Thankfully, he died fairly young. Yeah, there is that one. Was Jack the Ripper a royal, or was it H.H. Holmes? Because the timelines do add up on H.H. Holmes. Because he was a nutter as well. Not quite Albert Fish levels of nutter. Don't watch a video on Albert Fish if you're not already familiar. Yeah, that guy was a mess. But yeah. But then it's one thing, we'll never truly know who Jack the Ripper was. But it's kind of weird, is that he killed. Canon is he killed 5 women, expanded is 7 or maybe 8. But then you look at that these days and you think that's really not many. I mean, 1 is too many, but as far as serial killer sickos go, 5 or 7 is not. And he's like super famous, like top of the list. Everyone knows who Jack the Ripper was, not just Brits, Americans, Europeans. Yeah, he was obviously a very intelligent man. Well educated. It's always good to understand the difference between well educated and intelligent. Some of the smartest people I know never went to college or university, and I'm not including you here, Rebecca. Don't think for a moment I am, because you're our plexpert. But some of the dumbest people I've known went to university. Yeah, someone who just qualified as an accountant and couldn't do their 12 times table. Yeah, there's a fine line between genius. Was it who? Can't remember who said it, but yeah, might have been Einstein. There's a very fine line between genius and insanity. And if you're at genius level, you can cover your insanity and do 2 and 11 and 5 and 10. 9 is easy because up to 10 or 11 times 9. Yeah. No professors who can't wire a 13 amp plug. Yeah, I know plenty of people who can't wire a 13 amp plug. I know someone who complained it was too hard to undo the screws on a 13 amp plug and got an impact driver out to undo them. And we're like, just give it to your mum, she'll do it with a butter knife. Learned to wire a plug from Maidenhead Aquatics. I learned to wire a plug in middle school. I think I was about 10 when we got shown how to do it in middle school, and I already knew anyway. Because back then, when you bought a new electrical product, be it a kettle or your Sky Electric or Hornby Railway, didn't come with a plug on it. You had to put the plug on yourself. You had to supply the plug. Best friend is YouTube if you want to learn anything. There's that channel, I can't remember the channel name. Sam will probably know it. There's a guy who basically decided he's the YouTube dad. So he does lessons for young men who are grown up. simple things that, if you've grown up without a father, you might not know how to do, like how to shave, how to tie a tie, how to change a tire. Simple things that people my age you just learn to do at school or whatever. Welcome back, Dee Dee. Yeah, the power pack weighed about 4 kilo. Yep. Nano. Hello. Yeah, so no. But then that was in the same time that you could get a chemistry set as a present for birthday or Christmas, and it'd come with things like ammonia in it. Or an electronics kit where you could build a voltage doubler and then double that and make a taser that ran off a 9-volt battery. Yeah, scale electric power packs were heavy. That's because it was a proper oldie transformer. People my age learned it at school and went, only parents should be teaching kids about X, Y, Z. Now they call the kids stupid. I said, I'm all for, excuse me, taking some of the more academic stuff out of school or reducing it slightly. Literally restricting the amount of options there are for GCSEs these days. But putting back in things like how to wire a plug, how to change a car tyre, how to budget for a month's bills and food and everything, and all these kind of things that, again, people my age, we take for granted because we either learn it at school, learn it from our parents, or whatever. But now it doesn't seem to be such common knowledge. Used a few for CVs, yeah. So were they 12? Yeah, they were 12-volt back then, weren't they? Scale electric. Do you support the new natural history GCSE and A levels? Oh dear. Yeah, natural history ones are important. Can't see that going down well somewhere where they teach creationism rather than evolution in school. Schools don't need budgets. Police departments do in my particular area. Yeah, but if the budget was there in a school, then there would be less crime, so you wouldn't need so many police officers. It's a crazy thought there. Lucky to have an auto shop at my school. The wood shop and metalwork didn't have teachers. Yeah, this is the thing. Children are taught by teachers, right? The children are the future. So to me, you spend more money on that than you do on other things. Education is the most important thing. Adele, my dear, happy birthday. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I'll have a quick swig first because my throat's playing up. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Adele. Happy birthday to you. There we go. Is that a bunch of crypts in that tank behind me? Yes, lots of crypts. Mostly Wendetii and Tropica, I think. Then a whole bunch of Val, which is supposed to be the Italian Vallisneria, but it's actually the giant Vallisneria. Because, 50-gallon tank that goes all the way up and then all the way across. So that's a job for this week, to trim that. Literally just get the scissors and start there and cut straight across. Yeah, so I've got the Vendetti, the Tropica. I think there's another one in there somewhere. That's just an Anubius, an escaped Pleco, whole bunch of Limias. Let's grab the camera and look a bit closer. Let's see what we got. So, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the computer screen. So, Limia. Quick. Corys, more Limias. Anubius. Balasinaria. Oh, more Anubius. More crits. Bit of rock. Another escape for a nose. Ye oldie fashioned box filter. Tree trunk. Procox rainbow. Back to Limias. I think we might be a bit overstocked with Limias at the moment. I don't know how gorgeous little fishies. I think she might be about to pop. So we're going to have more babies soon. Yay! There's all them. And then we got all them as well. A whole bunch more Limia. And the joyous thing in that tank is the babies have been breeding. But yes. Hello, Debs. How are you, my dear? Happy Mother's Day and happy Grandmother's Day. Do you know you can get the, yeah, I've seen the glass hermit crab shells, so you can see them inside the shell. You can see them scratching their butt. That's the video I saw of it. There's a hermit crab in a glass shell scratching its butt. Yeah. Seems good to me. Yes. Yes, I watch videos of animals scratching their butts. Water too soft. The ram's horns look bad fast. Yeah, ram's horns do suffer in softer water very fast because they're. I think it's because they've got a very thin shell. They've got a thin shell and they grow quick. So like this one is a ram's horn graveyard. Basically, the entire bottom of the tank is dead ram's horns, or shells. Whereas the rest of them, the ram's horns go nuts in. Which is ironic because that's the one that was supposed to be the ram's horn breeding tank. But yeah, there's hundreds of them in there. All the others, and another at least 3 more tanks. But yeah, my water out of the tap is super hard. Yes, we do have some interesting accents on Andrew's stream. We've got northern, southern, whatever. Well, yeah, Steve's up in Forest, isn't he? So Essex. Get bag crushed oyster grit for chickens and mix it in the substrate. That'll work. Cheaper than coral or aragonite. Yeah, it's one of those things. If you buy the aquarium version, it's the same thing, and they just charge way more. But yeah, oyster grit will do the trick. It's literally just crushed oyster shells, because once you're eating the oyster, what do you do with the shells? There's only so many people who want a pretty shell. You crush them all up and use them for something else, like chickens. And then chickens eat it and they use it to make eggshells. But let's be honest, the last thing any of us want is chickens laying eggs without shells, because that would just be a mess. And ain't nobody wants to be cleaning coagulated egg off of a chicken's butt. That's just not. I'm sure Tommy's had to do that before. Yeah, so it's definitely be like anything though. If you buy anything that is branded for an aquarium, it's more expensive than for something else. I was saying, as I've still not put it away anywhere yet, that was for pond filter sponge rather than aquarium filter sponge, and it was half the price for the same thing. I mean, and I paid over the odds, and it was like $4.50. I mean, it'll last me bloody ages, so it's not a problem. Howdy, Clark. Oh, just got in from work. I feel your pain. I know that feeling. Yeah, chickens do need the calcium, because especially if they're laying every day. That's a lot of calcium to make an eggshell every day. So, or you can just boil up some eggshells and crush them up in a pestle and mortar and chuck that in the tank. That will do the same thing. Yes. And I'm not going to go to the clam joke. Oh no. Oyster shells can cut you. Clam shells are far more lady part friendly. There we go. Speaks the voice of experience. And I'm not going to comment on what size clam did you need. Because I'm guessing it's not a little freshwater clam, Dee Dee. Ooh. Or even half a coconut shell. That wouldn't do the trick either, I doubt. Unless we're talking coco de mer. There. It's alive. Did you need the Pacific Tridacna clamshells? Yeah, exactly. So if you're breeding chicken or you're keeping chickens, then yeah, if you bake the shells and feed them back, you know, because the minerals that they lose producing the eggshell, well, if you feed them the eggshell, they get the minerals back, which is partly why female live bearers will give birth and literally, yes, I know the Tridacna is the giant clam. So female live bearers will give birth and then literally turn around and eat the fry. That's probably because they're low on whatever nutrient that was in the fry, because we work the same way. If we get a craving for a certain food, it's because there's something in that food that our body is short of at the time. For example, if you get a craving for bananas, you're probably low on potassium, or you need to throw up. And similar things. If you get a craving for oysters, it's because you need to blow your nose. What is that when you crave soap? That means you've got a filthy mouth and you need to clean it out. That's all that is. Anyone else's parents do that when they caught you swearing? Put the soap in your mouth to try and put you off swearing ever again? Not that worked. Just led to some confused people when people didn't know it had happened, and then they went to wash their hands. And why are there teeth marks in the soap? Jokes on them, I like the taste of soap. Sapophagia. All that money, got the name. Make me sit in time out with a nice old bar of soap in my mouth. Yeah. Didn't affect us though, did it at all? Got the soap one time. Yes, I had it more than once. Because Muggins here didn't necessarily know what all the swear words were. So you learn new words all the time as a kid, but no one actually tells you that that's a bad word that you're not allowed to say until you say it when you shouldn't say it. You just whack me with the egg flipper. Yeah, had that more than once. All the just open hand. Got Tabasco sticking my tongue out. Yeah, that wouldn't have worked on me, that one, because I can do a Tabasco shot, no worries. Kids got curry powder because they like soap. I knew a kid that had some vitamin deficiency. He ate soap, and the doctors figured it out, and he stopped. So, yeah, I'm guessing there's probably something in soaps that is it saponic acid? One of them. I think it's probably one of the acids or something like that in the soap, especially if it's a natural soap rather than a fully synthetic. Yeah, it could have been something that's, use this soap. It contains this vitamin. It goes on the outside of your body and then you wash it right off. It's not going to absorb through your skin. But it's good for no. That kept breaking Mum's good wooden spoons. We switched the egg flipper. You know what that means? That means you got buns of steel, Adele. Started eating laundry detergent, needed something that tied me over till dinner. So you're responsible for the Tide Pod challenge, then, are you? And when they break the spoon somehow, you get in more trouble because they broke the spoon hitting you. Yes. Well, they whack. You get a slap around the side of the face. Your glasses go flying and break, and then you get in trouble for breaking your glasses. I didn't break my glasses. You hit me. Yes, but then I got big enough and ugly enough and hairy enough, and I started hitting my foster parents back, and they didn't like that much. Not as much as when my foster dad realised that I could block and dodge. He really didn't like that when he went whack me once, and I just blocked it. Swung with the other hand, I blocked that too. He got very upset with me. And that wasn't even the time I got caught using the pages out of the Bible as cigarette papers. Hey, it's a book I'm never going to read. Might as well use it for something useful. Like I say, I'm never going to read. I'd already read it, so yeah, I know what happens. Yeah, really didn't like it when I started fighting back. It might be why I'm, you know. Yeah, we all know the spoilers for the Bible. Child murder is good. Zombies exist. Um, Marijuana is good. Um, just did 235 squats. Bad dose of the squits. Thou shalt. There should have been 11 commandments. The 11th one, thou shalt feel guilty. That's what most of it seems to be based on. When I first started doing them, I'd only do 15. I wouldn't even do one because I don't agree with doing exercise. I get paid to sweat. I don't pay to sweat or do it off my own back if I can help it. Because I'm lazy. And that's the reason I'm a jiggle jowled fat bloke. Nothing to do with being old. It's just I'm fat and lazy. Exactly. The burning bush. Right? There's a bush that's burning. Some guy approaches the burning bush. And I don't mean someone had chlamydia. It's not a drop bear. And then he gets a vision while standing near the bush that's burning. Dude was high. That's all I'm saying. There are unicorns in the Bible. It's not a bad book. Howdy, Mark. How you diddling? I was looking for something scary to listen to and then saw I was on. Good evening, Pam, my dear. Um, I recently started working with, or recently started working with me, a young female artist in the UK. So I sent her your way. I said to go and watch your channel, and she was very impressed with your pictures of animal butts. Because she's got a commission to do an okapi, the sort of half zebra thing. So it's a zebra on the back end. If Lord of the Rings had unicorns, it'd be better. Yeah, but it had Mummakill. And Mummakill are far better than unicorns. Yeah, and Lord of the Rings has got Shadowfax, the horsiest horse of all horses. Yes, a horse that you can whistle from half the world away and it turns up in about 5 minutes. Um, yeah, and it had the ride of the Rohirrim. So you don't need a unicorn when you got the Rohirrim. Now, did they ever work out where the unicorn myth, as it were, came from? Did I think it was possibly a misidentified rhino, or was it a narwhal? I've heard both sides of that one, and both kind of make sense. Ents, yes, Ents. Unicorn has quite a few origins depending on the type of unicorn. My favourite is a zombie corn. They're the best. Horse on the beach with narwhal horn is my guess. Oh, and yes, and happy UK Mother's Day as well, Pam. and all the ladies. Yeah, horse skeleton laying there with a next to a dead narwhal. Ah, greetings from the Netherlands. Good evening, Angelique, and welcome. Shadowvar is almost a zombie unicorn, a carnivorous predatory unicorn. Its original ent was based on a tree in Oxford Botanical Gardens, and they chopped it down to preserve a wall. Yes. And speaking as a Brit, I have not been to Amsterdam, so I didn't do it. Like uncanny valley cryptids, carnivorous horses, yes. All sorts of weird and random cryptids. Some you look at and you go, well, obviously if you look at it, you go, yeah, that's real. But you see the stories and the legends and the myth and the history, and some of it you think, yeah, I can understand, I can see that, that makes sense. And others you just go, what the hell were you smoking? Horses known to kill and eat mice and chicks, yes. And carp will as well. I have caught, well, I've caught a carp before that threw up and there was a duckling. So yeah, carp will eat anything. That's why we call them lake pigs. No vegan animals, even tortoises. Oh, yeah, there's going to be the odd caterpillar or bug on a leaf that a tortoise eats, I'd guess. Yeah. Snails, and it's got to be something slow for a tortoise to catch it, let's be honest. It's not going to be something that's going to be super zoomy. Yeah, imagine guinea pigs eating a slug or a caterpillar. They probably wouldn't realise they were even eating it. Latte bunny, she's probably eating plenty of slugs or things like. Baby mice for extra protein, but given the choice, I'll take the slugs and the snails. Yeah, I'll say they're easy enough to catch. Howdy, Dan. Highlight of the day: someone who sold a neon jewel cichlid for their fish bowl. Told them no, and they were not happy. Yeah, yeah, jewel cichlid in a bowl is probably not going to work out well. I mean, even on its own, if we're talking one like the bigger biolbs, if that's what they're talking about as a fish bowl, that's not going to do well. And if there's anything else in there, yeah, it's going to eat it. Oh, Angelique's frog wants to eat her. Oh dear. Oh, it was just a bowl. Ooh, definitely not good. Thankfully, my frogs don't want to eat me. They're all out in the garden. They've got other things on their mind at the moment. There's lots of splashing going on and lots of frogs. Chews and swallows, snack a little sluggish. What kind of frogs or frogs do you have, Angelique? If you don't mind us asking. So I know said okay and walked off. Yeah, I'll say it probably happens way more often than people realise. And I'd like to bet on any given day when you ask someone what size tank they've got, at least one person, if not more, is lying to you when they go, I've tried to buy a fish before and someone asked me what size tank it was and then they said no. So if I tell them I've got a bigger tank, puff, puff, puff away, Adele. Yeah, like loads of times. Yeah, I do kind of like to wind people up, but that's just me. My standing answer is, "What size tank have you got?" And I go, "Which one?" Um, I go, "What size tank? Well, which one are you putting it in?" Well, it's going to go into a quarantine tank first for a week or two, just to make sure it's not carrying any diseases, and then it will go into a display tank. And then they look at you like, "Oh, you do actually have kind of a clue what you're talking about? Okay, well, we'll just sell you the fish." Happens more when you realise. I mean, the people lying about the size of their tank. That's the. I mean, I've seen it in pets at home where someone's gone, just been like wandering around, and someone's gone, "Oh, that's the tank we've got." And then they've looked at fish and go, "Oh, that's very pretty. What one day they get someone." "Oh, what size tank you got?" "Oh, it's a big one. It's a 4 foot tank," because they're looking at an angelfish or something. And no, you just literally said in front of me that you've got a 9 gallon flex. Honestly, didn't cause issues due to me misconceptions. That species, yeah. There's a lot said about uh, you can't put that fish in that size tank. Yeah, you can. I mean, you can put a goldfish in a 10 gallon. That's not a problem for a short while, and then it'll grow, and then you need to put it in a 20 and a 40 and a 60, and yeah. What were those old 70s coffee table bowls are like 40 gallons? Yeah, that'd be cool. Um, I started seeing a lot of things about bowls that they mess with fish's eyesight. I mean, I can kind of get it because everything's curved in multiple directions at the same time. So brown frog, home garden kitchen one is really crazy. uh, well, frogs are cool. Whether you got fish, frogs, whatever, you're welcome here. Most of us are fishy people. Some of us keep other stuff as well. Some of us are just weird. Evening, Ricky. And before we go any further, I'm going to have to disappear for a couple of minutes. Maybe. I'll be back. I've drunk all that and I didn't go to the loo before the stream. That's why. Back in a mo. And we're back. Oh, about half a gallon lighter. Oh dear. Bless you, Dill. I remember it is hard being 21 again. Um, Best use of Fireball is pouring it down the sink. Works well as paint stripper, I heard. But yeah, while I was up there, just saw a shadow in the bathroom mirror. Now you've aged when there's only one candle on your cake. Got fish and some birds, a couple of goldies, one white puffer, some tropical fish, fancy tails, canary, and some birds you're not allowed to have. Yeah. So we won't talk about those ones, Angelique, just in case we don't want to get in trouble. Oh, Debs is on Doom bars. And no, it's not my family name that makes those or brews those, Debs. I know what a Doom bar is. To those not aware, it isn't a chocolate bar. It's a beer. Brewed by the Sharpe's Brewing Company. But it's Sharpe's without the E, so it's not me. Probably about the only people who would sponsor me would probably be an alcohol company, which would be ironic, being that I'm teetotal. It's one of those things where I'm not saying I'd say no to a sponsor. Obviously, I wouldn't. I'm not stupid, but I don't think anyone's going to want to sponsor me. Let's be honest. I'm a scruffy urchin. I speak my mind. I smoke. I'll waffle about rubbish during live streams. I'm not kind of their target demographic for a spokesperson, am I? Made a vanilla shake with Fireball. Oh, that brings back bad memories, Sky. Oh dear. Many, many, many years ago, back in the 1990s, early 1990s, scrapping the aquarium project, the equipment company sent me the refund after nearly 2 years. Oh, at least you haven't got to worry about it anymore, Ricky. It's all you can breathe and start thinking about what else to do next. But at least you got your refund. Although they earned the interest on it for having it in their bank for 2 years. Thank you very much, Angelique. It's a 200-litre fluval Roma. Although there's nowhere near 200 litres of water in there with the amount of plants. But yeah, so yeah, I did a milkshake that was creme de menthe, so which is a mint liqueur that I use to make said milkshake. It's a green mint liqueur, and it had the obviously expected effects of adding large amounts of liqueur alcohol to a milkshake and then drinking it very quickly. The thing, if you go with a lawsuit, it's going to cost more than the interest. So yeah, exactly. Sometimes you do. You just have to cut your losses and take it on the chin and just keep calm and carry on, as the old saying goes. Doombar is a perfectly balanced beer combining subtle yet complex flavors, and Yella has just Googled Doombar. It's a good quaffer. You can down a good few bottles of Doombar. Keep calm, stay calm, everyone. We have royalty here, Mr. Bob Kaler of Kaler's Aquatics and Reptiles. Aquatics, reptiles, woofers and kitties as well. Can't forget the woofers and the kitties. Pardon me. See, I found it tasted kind of beery But you know, that's me. You know, no sense of smell means all these subtle, delicate aromas and flavours are completely lost on me. It just tastes beery. Um, but yeah, so the creme de menthe milkshake curdled in my stomach, and I produced green cottage cheese. Let's put it that way. A couple of hours later, if it was that long, maybe even an hour later. Yeah, Bob's here. Got to behave now, Pam. Not that ever stopped you. But yes, Fussies to all the doggos and the kitties and anyone other's pets that likes fusses and belly rubs and head scritches and boops on the nose. There you go. There's a dare for Pam. Go boop Mario's snoot. Boop on Mario's snoot and see what happens. I'm not paying the medical bill. Oh, when I used to be like blue moon with a shot of orange juice. Oh, Bob wants boobs on the nose, not boops. Oh. BOOP. Oh dear, Mario and Star been fighting. Was Star annoying Mario? Or did Mario just decide he didn't like Star one day? Because either is. Star's been hiding and sulking. Oh, bless her. Mario is the boss, so. Dilemmas might not go with animals up the aquarium. Giant salamanders, albino Siamese crocs. Oh, yeah. Um, Hopefully you can sell some of the animals on. I mean, the salamanders are cool, but yeah. A small clump of Mario fell on the bed. Not sure who started it, but Mario finished it. I'd guess Mario was probably sleeping on the bed. Star jumped up there and woke him up, and Mario did Mario things. Mario, my lovely, my darling. Big hug. Happy Mother's Day, crazy Mama Bear. How are you? I hope all is well, my gorgeous Norwegian girlie. But yes, for those who don't know, Mario, Pam's cat, is violent, violent and short-tempered. It's like Mario is the Antichrist. Let's be honest. He's lovely, but he's the Antichrist. Sites Appendix 1, can't sell them, keep them in the zoo. Oh, no, you might find another zoo or someone that will take them if you're struggling to find somewhere to put them. But then you got the hassle of transporting all those. Yeah, you can do a pole dance if you like, Bob. Pole away, my friend. Oh, just had the X there for the F1. Oh. What would you like to pole, Bob? Pole away. Yeah, I'll F1 these days. I literally just watch the highlight reel on YouTube. It's like 6 minutes long because that pretty much covers everything that happens in the race. Can't trust voice text. Yeah. Although I did sit and watch the entirety of the Daytona 24-hour earlier this week, so oops. You can do a poll, do a line, whatever you want. Should I do the reptiles on a separate new reptile channel? Now, generally, when it comes to these things, YouTube does say that different subjects should be on different channels. For example, I should do Sharpe's Fish and Sharpe's Phantoms as two separate channels rather than one and jam it all together. But I do it all as one because I can guarantee I'll screw up whichever channel things are going on. Oh no, you're not dropping your lasagna into the tank. Oh no. Or you eat. No, I'm not going to. It's only people like me that would eat lasagna in the bath. Whoops. Hopefully, most of it's salvageable, Angelique. Is Angelique or Angelique? Depends if you go which pronunciation. Yeah, so it's one of those things where if you're a bigger channel, then people will still find you. But like in case of someone like me, where it's a small channel, if I do a second channel, even if I say, go check out my second channel, most people won't. And then you're trying to grow another channel at the same time. Personally speaking, it doesn't worry me if someone covers two different subjects. Because if I'm interested in one subject, I'll watch those videos. If I'm not interested in the other subject, I might not watch them, or I might watch them because I like the person and their presentation style, and then I'll get into a new hobby, as it were. Can't begin to guess how many patients' meds I've dropped and then given them anyways, especially narcotics. Yeah, well, it's probably not too. No, getting the drugs is probably more important than getting the drugs, and they might be a bit dusty. And if it's narcotics, they're not going to care anyway, you know. They'll be floating up around the ceiling and really not caring that there might have been a speck of dust on their tablet. Yeah, only poll on the OnlyFans. Oh, speaking of which, that's reminded me. This week, the UK Parliament or government, has now decided that no government computer, phone, tablet, or anything is allowed to have TikTok on it. Gradually, TikTok's going away. People don't understand Roman numerals until they get to 159, then it clicks. Yeah, they have plenty of people on their hands and knees retrieving their narcotics. There's been plenty of people with a rolled up 20 up their nose snorting off the floor. Issue of YouTube is reptile posts get a third the views that fish get. Yeah, there is that. And which can tank the channel's analytics, understandably. I mean, I've noticed the paranormal stuff does tank my fish stuff as well. Pardon the pun. If you do start a second channel for the reptiles, and the reptiles, make sure you do plenty of regular on your streams. Remember to say, I also do this, and like videos and community posts and everything else, mention it. Now, when you do the whole, don't forget to click like and subscribe and leave a comment below and hit the notification bell, and my Patreon is, all that stuff. You got to make sure to mention the other channel and then put a link in the comments or the description. And banned in Boston, it's because she kicked off a tea party. That's what that was all about. Oh yes, we go history and an age joke at the same time. Yeah, and so TikTok banned in India. So hopefully it will go away. And we just need to get rid of Insta spam. And Twitter. Yeah, that would probably do the trick. Yeah, the problem is the security issues more than anything else. It's not necessarily data theft, it's just the data collection that people are worried about. And there was talk about banning Huawei phones, but I thought it's probably fairly simple to blank them and then reinstall a clean version of Android. But hey, if people want to spy on what I'm doing on my phone, then that's their problem. I don't do anything interesting on my phone. I use it as a phone mostly. Oh, yeah. Not if they have proprietary drivers or it's in the firmware, not hardware. Yeah, I'm not hugely knowledgeable on what goes on inside phones. But need to report that I hacked Sharpe's phone camera and I'm still paying for the therapy. Yep. It's all those pictures of injuries, close-ups of bruises and skin tags. Getting the government or someone to make entirely new firmware for the chips while they make a whole different story than the software. Yeah. It's, I never say no to a picture of a lovely Marriott smile. More the merrier as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, I just go with Samsung because I know how they work. I, I, I don't pick up a Samsung phone and do stuff on it, whereas any of the others, I'm like, what the hell do all these weird symbols mean? Why isn't this where I expect it to be? Yeah, that's because I'm old and crap, and I'm not a tech person. I can fix stuff with a hammer and a screwdriver, but not with software. Have I ever tried to put Linux on an old laptop to breathe life into it again? Like the Wi-Fi or Bluetooth drivers are impossible to find. No, I haven't. Because what I do with an old computer that no longer is working is I pull the hard drive out of it, smash it with a hammer, and then subject it to a hefty source of magnetism, and then chuck it in the bin. Cars are getting bugs. The world is going nowhere good. Yes. Yeah. Why do cars need to be Wi-Fi enabled? Why do toasters need to be Wi-Fi? The light sockets and washing machines. Is it really that hard to just get up and press a button? Apparently. Anyway, my time is up. I'm going to go die quietly. I do promise I will put some kind of video content out this week, providing I can actually speak, Yeah, that means you got to then go and find your phone, Ricky. And to me, it's easier to just press the button than it is to find the phone, open it up, unlock it, find the right app, go to the right bit in the right app, press that button. I could have done it by hand a lot quicker. But yeah. Have a good week, everyone. Stay safe. Again, happy Mother's Day to all the lovely ladies, the Millifies. Stay safe. Peace out. Thanks to everyone for turning up, being here, putting up with me coughing and hacking and waffling. Rock on. Bye bye. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Ah. Moo.